So we have so much stuff to talk about.
Right? But first,
here, welcome to the Generational Podcast. This is episode 53.
53.
Alright, cool. 53.
53 or 52. Wait, should we do a check on that? I should check on that. Hang on a second. Let's do a check. Quick fact check on that.
Remember to go to youtube.com, the Generational Podcast, and remember to subscribe.
Yeah, like and share, please, because that would be very, very cool.
I think the last podcast was 51, so you're right.
52.
52.
Sweet.
So,
52.
Welcome back to episode 52.
52 of the Generational Podcast.
And
He's
today,
the son.
Oh, I am the son.
And I'm the father. My name is Steve Brown.
And my name is Owen.
And we're going to talk about current events. That's what we do here.
Between father and son, so
some
I get to
chats that
speak
you
my
like.
opinion, and I get to hear my dad's, and
Yeah.
then we get to fact check it to see who's right.
And then I have to shut up sometimes because I overtalk sometimes, and sometimes you'll see us kind of go through our. Hopefully, if you go back, you can kind of see a little bit of the evolution of what's going on.
And the ums.
And I'm still It's the part of the Buddhist monk inside of me. I'm over here going
I mean, that should be more about
chill
me.
out, man. Chill
No.
out.
So
let's
the Asian here.
let's get the rough topic out of the way first.
All right.
So let's talk about sex, baby. Not you
Ooh.
and me, but it's going to be homecoming.
Right.
It's homecoming night
Definitely.
tonight, and a lot of people might be doing the whole humpity dumpity.
The shabam.
Yeah,
Mm.
in my day, it was kind of the thing to do, and it was one of those things that I was always trying to do because I was a heathen growing up. Still am a bit of a heathen, don't you think?
No, I think you got better.
But I want to hear, I was watching some stuff on Instagram, and it had this gentleman saying, this woman was getting angry. She was like, why aren't guys, guys don't want to kiss, they don't want to make out, they don't want to do anything. And the opposite side of that was the guy said, well, because we're always being accused of rape or something like that, and most guys don't want to do that. And it's very risky in today's society for young men your age and older to get in a promiscuous relationship with a woman or many women, because when they get successful, someone's going to come back and be like they raped them.
Right.
So what's your view on that? What do you think? Because you have homecoming tonight, right?
Yeah, I do have homecoming tonight.
Do you see it in your school? Do you see it around? Well, you don't have to answer specifically your school, but do you see it around your age groups? Do you see what's going on?
I definitely see it around my age group, but not as much as I used to in public school, considering that it's a different environment and it's more godly.
Okay. So
and personally, I will say that I'm definitely don't want to be a part of that group.
Which group?
The
promiscuous one?
Promiscuous one, definitely.
Okay. And why is that?
Well, it's because I want to have my first times with my wife.
Really?
With everything.
For everything. So,
yeah, dates and everything.
So, well, that dating is like a precursor to marriage, right?
Right, but
You don't go, let's get married and then go on a date. It doesn't work that way.
No,
right?
not that way. It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. But you want to be chivalrous? Do you know what chivalry means?
Yeah, chivalry. Having honor and respect and acting like a good gentleman.
So explain to me and then we're only going to talk on this just a little bit because I like the fact that you're saying that. You're saying good things to me, and I hope it's not because I'm sitting next to you.
No, not at all. I also say this around my friends.
So tell me what your ideal first date would be for a young lady right now, your age.
Picnic.
A picnic.
Yeah, picnic.
A picnic in the park.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's not bad. That's okay. Or the beach.
The beach, yeah, considering we're
Get you a
around the
sand
beach.
sandwich. Wind blows. Crunching on some sand.
Yeah, I like the salt smell, so.
All right.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Okay, but so you're going to prom tonight.
Yeah.
Say they decide that you're not prom, homecoming. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm not. I didn't go to either one really. I went to the parties after. I was that guy, and I'm glad that you weren't like I am in that aspect. So I'm very happy because a father's job is to always make their children better than him. That's what we're trying to do as fathers.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so say you go out tonight to your homecoming. The hottest girl in the school is like, "Owen, come with me." Are you going? She's like, "Come
for
with
a
me."
dance.
No, to leave, man.
Oh,
She wants
no.
to go do some sucking face or something, kissing and shit.
No.
Stuff.
I don't think so.
Good. I mean, that's all.
I will say you can have a dance with me, but that's about it.
We'll sit down and have some good conversation.
Yeah, that's good.
Boy, you're just as boring as all get out of shit. That's
I am boring.
And that's a good thing, though. And you're not boring. You're really smart. It's just a matter of. I'm glad that you're taking your time and choosing and not rushing into things like I did. Because I lost my virginity to some girl named Wendy in Texas. I was like 16, dude. I was younger than you. And I regret that because my friend, we were just driving a car. My friend's like, "Oh, you're a virgin?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, we gotta get rid of that right now. I'm calling my cousin." Like, what? It was weird. And that was just kind of the times. Now it seems like you guys want to do things differently.
Well, I want to. So
You want to.
If people want to follow, that's their choice.
Ah, good job. All right, well, now that we got the really important stuff out of the way, in my mind, that's really important.
Now let's talk about the crazy stuff that's going on now.
In our country.
Well, not just our country, but specifically Iran.
Really? Tell me about Iran. What's up?
So this is the Jerusalem Post, and this was in 2020, by the way. According to reports within Iran, the country has around 4,000 sex reassignment surgeries every year in an attempt to purge homosexuality from the Islamic Republic.
Islamic Republic. Wow.
So, considering that it's the Middle East, right? They have their was it Quam?
Yeah, with gays.
With gays. They're starting to, find a way around that.
Just like, all right, well, you're gay. We're going to make you a woman now. You got to get that pecker chopped off. That's the only way you can live here. You got to become a eunuch. I can't believe that. That's scary.
But you know what's even scarier? Imagine meeting a woman with her mask, right? You fall in love with her, and then come to find out he used to be a man.
Yeah, you can't have kids. Wow. Maybe that's why they get multiple wives, because it's kind of like it's kind of like a lottery. It's like oh, you're gender reassigned. Darn. Okay. Your turn. Oh, another gender reassigned. What is wrong with me? And then you're like, oh wait. I finally got a woman. Yes, let's have babies. It's kind of like that. That's weird. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the Middle East too. Not just that.
Definitely.
I think
yeah.
Israel and Hamas are fighting again, and I found out that I think it was Mr. Current sitting in office Joe Biden gave money to one of the sides, and as soon as the money was given, a full-scale attack was.
You're right. This is 2 hours ago by the Washington Post.
See, I'm on there. I told you I got my finger on the pulse of what's going on.
But they won't allow you to read it though because you gotta buy
Subscribe.
their subscription. But it says on the title here that mapping the deadly surprise attack by Hamas militants on Israel.
So basically, I think Joe Biden sent a bunch of money to Hamas, and as soon as they got the money, they started attacking.
It's a missile too. It's by missile.
Yeah, I know.
So didn't we stop the funding of the Iron Dome in Israel?
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about that. You'll have to check on that one. I know that Israel's trying to fight back now, and it's just more funding of more wars for more profit for the industrial military complex. And I figure there's enough wars out there going on that they can make enough money not involving America or American money.
All right. Earlier this year, the U.S. Congress approved $1 billion emergency funding for the Iron Dome system, which nearly ended the May 2021 Gaza conflict, where more than 4,300 rockets were fired on Israel by Gaza terrorists. However, this approval came after after months of political waging that threatened to undermine Israel's safety. And this was in, if I read it correctly, 2022.
Look up money sent. How much money was sent by Biden? It was like yesterday.
Oh, to where?
Hamas. To
Hamas?
Gaza. I think it was Gaza. I
Gaza?
think that's who he funded.
Okay.
He didn't send it to Israel. There's a stark difference in the political spectrums and who they support, and it's very clear. What's it say?
You said Gaza?
Yeah, or Hamas.
Not Hamas.
Well,
I didn't
Hamas
see
is the
anything.
fraction group that fights the Israelis, isn't it? I believe so.
I think it was.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that this is all going down because we decided to avert and not fund one war, so he's starting up an old war again.
Palestinians.
To Palestine. It's the Jews and the Palestinians.
So when they talk about.
Yeah.
It's West Asia, so Palestine is. So Palestine is right about.
Yeah, he sent it to
Yeah,
Palestine.
he did send it to Palestine.
And as soon as they sent it, then they started fighting. They started bombing Israelis again. It's just him funding wars, and we need to get these people to stop. We need to be part of a rebuild, and not a forced war on people. This isn't how we do relations. It's not supposed to happen this way. This is how they make money.
Yeah,
I get it.
Their conflict is between the Palestinians and the Israelis.
Israelis, yes. Yeah, I know.
Israelis.
I know. It's been going on for a very long time. President Trump made a peace between them, and then Biden just kicked it back off again. So for all of you that are talking about the Revelation, the end of the world, well, that just made it not so, because they're supposed to have 7 years of peace, I believe.
So they gave him $75 million
That's enough for a lot of rockets.
to rebuild U.S.-Palestinian relations. They said it was for immigration, but on the other hand, it says right here that it was for relations.
It's for destroying Israel. Is what
And the same bill was being tried to pass under Trump, and Trump slashed it.
The reason why is because he knows that that's not really what it's for.
Right.
Relations for what? To increase relations and destroy relations for Israel in America. This is the type of stuff that large people with big money, how they make more money is they create wars in smaller countries, and then they fund both sides.
Are you ready for this? The funds are intended for urgent short-term projects aimed at regaining trust and goodwill with Palestinian society.
Yeah, aimed at Israel.
So that just shows how much we put our little dabble into the rest of the conflicts around here.
Yeah, it's not a little bit. We push those conflicts. We make wars, and then and I don't like our money being funded for stuff like that. I just don't think our taxpayer dollars need to be spent in that way.
So,
but I'm just a podunk guy from Kansas.
Well, that's interesting, and it's gonna fund this war for a bit.
Well, rockets are expensive, so it's only a couple of months probably. It's not a big money type thing, and Israel has a lot of money, right? Israel has a lot of American, because it's like we're almost split. That's why everything gets funded by two different sides. It's like the Democrats want and Biden want to send money to Palestine, and then you get Trump and he's wanting to send money to Israel, and both of those countries need to relax and become friends, to get together and eat a meal. That's what Jesus would do. Bring everybody together and have everybody eat. Everybody need to eat. There doesn't need to be war. The hate needs to be pushed out. There's so much hate in the world today. It's sad.
Honestly, it is.
You know? I wish that America was the America that I grew up in. I wish that you could experience that a little better. I hope for my next child that we can make it better for them. Because the way things are going and the way things have been going, it's kind of scary. I mean, Hillary Clinton just said that people need to. There might be able to run the clip of Hillary saying they need reprogramming. Trump supporters need reprogramming. That's just another word for re-education there, Hillary. Okay? I got kicked off of Twitter, or X, because I made a little meme, and I put the little Hitler mustache on Hillary, and then I put on her forehead Hillary Clinton, and then it says re-education camps by Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so this is from CNN this morning, and then
I don't even like those guys, but okay.
yeah. But here we go. All the way.
Many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump.
That's my
He's
wife.
only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? You know, because at some point, you know, maybe
He didn't
there
whack
needs to be
everybody.
a formal deprogramming of the cult members.
Formal deprogramming of the cult members. First of all, my wife isn't in a cult. She's a Trump supporter because she loves America. My son, are you in a cult?
No, I'm not in a cult.
Do you worship Donald J. Trump? Oh, worship the orange guy.
No,
No?
not at all.
No?
You're not supposed to have idols.
Okay. So, I believe there's two things here. First, Hitler is showing her true colors because she just hates anybody that goes against her version of whatever it is. And then the whole MAGA movement destroyed her. Then the other thing is Biden's, look this up, the Bidens are being indicted.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this in our earlier podcast about episode 50.
But no, I think they're actually not. I think Joe is being indicted now. The family is being indicted. I think they pushed it further.
Yeah.
But you'll have to check on that one because I don't know if that's a scuttlebutt, if that's just a rumor that I learned, or if it's true. Because if that's true, then she's saying things like this to push the eyes away from that and onto her on what she's saying. And she's doing a good job of it because a bunch of people were like myself. I get pretty touchy when people are going to say that they're going to put my son and my wife in a camp. No. That's a big fight you don't want because you're coming after my family. Then I go dark. I come after yours.
So, I'm pretty sure I talked about this in episode 50 or 49 of our podcast.
Yeah? But you brought up all the stuff that they were going to do, but they didn't do it yet. They were just planning to do it.
Okay.
Now they're
So
actually, now I believe they're actually doing it. I think they've actually handed out the indictments, the papers. The papers!
With the 20 plus shell companies.
I don't know.
I read them off.
It's gonna be interesting to find out what they're gonna do. And then, what did you see? Investigation?
Yeah, it's an investigation now. It's the whole entire family.
Okay, so yeah, they're moving along with that, I believe, and there's a lot of stuff. Like, let's see, McCarthy was moved out of office. They were talking about Trump going into office, right?
Right.
As the Speaker of the House, and Trump actually said he was on board for it. And then Jim Jordan stepped up. A wrestler.
Okay.
He's a wrestler. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know Jim Jordan was a wrestler.
I think he was out of Ohio State, maybe? He might have been an Ohio State wrestler. I'm not sure about that. I think he's a Buckeye, though. I think he was a Buckeye. He's a pretty good wrestler, too.
Jim Jordan.
Was he a wrestler? I know he's
Ohio.
a wrestler.
Yeah.
Ohio, he's a Buckeye.
He's from Ohio.
Yeah, the great wrestling program. So yeah, that's the other thing. That guy's a wrestler, and he's been on the side of good talks for a while. I don't know how much he's put in, like, it's all about results. But when you have to work on votes and get results, it's kind of difficult. So hopefully Jim Jordan's not like an implant.
He wrestled in the University of Wisconsin.
Oh, even better. They're good too. They're a good wrestling program too.
He's a 2-time NCAA champion.
NCAA, but
NCAA. NCAA, yeah. But he was he's wrestled around the 130, 134.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that is a hard-nosed American, and I think that that's a good thing. And I believe that Trump endorsed him as Speaker of the House too.
So he's supposed to be Speaker of the House.
Well, they have to vote. So I think somebody else was going to try and run too. I think Pelosi said she's coming back.
Nancy?
Yeah. They kicked her out completely, and then she got mad and said she's coming back now. So hopefully that's not the case, and we can get rid of her for good, because she is a cancer that was just horrible.
When you start making $10 million per year, that raises some red flags.
Yeah.
Especially as a congresswoman.
I think there's a lot of things that a lot of people are going to start stepping down because they don't want to face the fire of being tried.
Definitely.
I think that might be the right move for a lot of people that are in government now, is that they need to, if they know they shit the bed, that's an expression, and they need to go ahead and vacate the premises. Let the maids clean it up. Let the rest of us clean up your shit, and we'll send you on down the road with your pension, and we can have some fresh American blood in there that are willing to stand up for American policies. What do you think?
I think that's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah? What would you want? You're the future in this, so like, what would you see? What would the House, like, what would you see right now? Would you want term limits?
I do want term limits.
Like, what is, like,
I think
4 years, like a president? 5 years? 3 years?
I think about 3 years would be best, because a president gets around 4 years, 8 years total. So if we do 3 years, then they have to run when the president is still in office, meaning that if they have made the right choices with the president, then they're with the people as well. When they're able to run again. If they don't, they're able to get kicked out, and there's new policies that could be brought back in by the president.
What would you do about budget spending?
Budget spending?
Yeah,
I think
the frivolous spending.
Frivolous spending? I think there should be a accounting agency that keeps better track of the money that's spent by the agencies themselves.
Okay.
So if there's an agency that's for accounting, then we're able to see as citizens what government is spending on, but then some of that has to be classified, since there's projects that are classified.
Well, it gets me that, you spend $15,000 on toilet, $100,000, they do these things to where they're hiding money inside things.
So now, if you're able to see like a budget sheet, and you're able to look at what each agency has been spending on, and you're like, hey, why do you pay $200,000 for a little office room?
There's a lot of things that our government does hide, but I think there needs to be. I think there needs to be some kind of like. What is it? Where if the budget goes over, like Warren Buffett said, if a budget goes over a certain amount, then nobody in Congress gets paid. So like, if you don't handle our money correctly, you don't get paid. So if you overpay somewhere else, the money comes out of your pocket.
Ooh.
So like,
okay.
So it's always about us, right? So it's always about the little guys or government shutdowns. So when they're like, oh, we're just going to do a government shutdown. When you do a government shutdown, military doesn't get paid, right? And government jobs don't get paid. So if you're working for like what is it? They just did the beep 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 thing, FEMA. Right? If you're working for a government agency like that, FBI, CIA, whatever, you don't get paid.
I don't think that's the right way to go, because it's not their fault.
It's not their fault. It's the
people who make the decisions, and the people who make the decisions are in Congress and are the president.
So it seems like now when nobody gets to go to a decision, everybody goes on vacation. Right? So like that's what it does. It's like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna shut down the government, and then all the people in Congress have to go on vacation for the next week and figure things out.
Do you remember when we walked into Topeka and the building there, and we looked at the list of things that they were voting on, and then they were going to come back 4 months later?
Yeah.
And I was
and
like,
they all get paid.
And they all get paid during that time, so they're being paid on leave, pretty much.
I think that we'll go back to some kind of hourly wage if you want to get in there in Congress. How many hours are you going to put into work? How much are you going to actually do for the people? There needs to be more accountability for the people. Like, we're just tossing things around. I'm just a I don't know.
You're just a thinker.
I just think of, and they don't like that. But anyway, if you think about it this way, you have to, if I go to work and I'm not working and I'm not doing my job, I get fired. If you go to work, you don't do your job, you get fired. If they go to work and they don't do their job, they go on vacation.
They get paid.
They get paid more. Right? They get to vote on things to come back to them and get paid more. They do. If I work for a company and I know that we're about to make some new life-changing electronics at my company, right? So I go and I buy $100,000 worth of stock. I'm going to get a knock on my door for insider trading, and I'm going to jail.
You are.
Right? But the Congress, men and women, get to do that without any regulation whatsoever. And that's ridiculous, because they get to vote on things, and then the very things that they vote on could be stuff in Iowa for corn, and they know that if they vote nay, it's going to hurt the corn production or supply some way, or supply chain, and then they hedge their profits on that, so they make more money.
Like, if you're part of
It's
the
just an
agricultural department of what the government that you're in, then if you pick and choose on regulations on different agricultural departments that are within your department, meaning like it'll be corn or different foods, right? So it'll be farm animals.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put your money into that sort of company, then that company will have to go up and down deciding on what you put your decisions on.
Yeah, so it's what they vote on, what they vote for, like, because every time they vote, they put a vote out for how we're going to move forward in public policy.
Okay.
Right? So it's like, we're going to vote that we're going to have Wagyu, right? So we're going to have an import of Wagyu beef from Japan. So they want to vote on it, right? But you've already gotten with your constituents, right? Because 9 times out of 10, just like when Matt Gaetz said he was going to remove the speaker, he already had the votes to remove the speaker. He knew he could remove the speaker already because he'd been working on it for a while, and he knew it was going to happen. It's the same way with bills that they're going to pass. They get together, they go knock on the doors of the office, they sit down, they talk, they have coffee together, they talk about what they're going to vote on, and then before all that goes down, before the vote even hits, they put their money in one thing or the other, right? And that's why a lot of these guys that have been, you like to watch them, a lot of these investors, they'll watch where the politicians and congressmen and congresswomen, where they're going to put their money first before they put it in, because they do.
They knew that they usually make a profit.
How is that not insider trading? How is that not insider trading?
No idea.
There's these loopholes that are going on, and these things that are going on that are they're class crimes to me, right? It's and what I mean, and let me give you a definition of what I call a class crime. A class crime is if we do it at our class, at our level, right? We go to jail. If they do it at their level, they go on vacation. Right?
Right.
So the rules apply to us, but they don't apply to them. That's not the America that I know. That's not the America that I thought we grew up in. I thought the rules applied to everybody. That's why I was so excited when McCarthy's leaving. That's why I get excited when I hear indictments are being handed out, because the rules apply to everybody. You know, you look at these judges, they're going after Trump, these people that are going after Trump, the rules apply to everybody. You guys are going after Trump for these things, he's going to come back to you for these things, you know?
Yeah, and it might be 10x. Who knows?
That's another thing, 10x it. Because the more that they go after him, and the more that they're, like, trying to put...
He's taking the time on the news, and people are watching him.
Oh, yeah. But the more they go after him, the more that they do this, the more I get excited to see when he gets up there. Like, you went after him first. You gotta understand, he had 4 years of where he didn't go after anybody.
Yeah, he didn't.
He didn't go after anybody.
No, he didn't.
He just wanted to make America great. That's all he wanted to do. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat him up on the news day in and day out, day in and day out. So much so that people are brainwashed now to hate him because of everything. Oh, he said this, and they just showed a clip and they didn't hear the whole dialogue. Oh, and then if you ask anybody that they say they hate Trump, they're going to be like, well, why do you hate Trump? I don't know. Just the things he says. Well, what does he say? I don't know. The Mexican people, or that he's racist. When did he say that?
He actually
I don't like this interview. I don't like this interview. I'm going away now. And that's what they do. And it's like, okay, well, you know, you've been brainwashed to hate somebody that you don't even know, that you haven't even researched.
And now you won't even have a conversation about that.
Yeah. That does not show it. And then you have people like Hillary Clinton that are pushing it to make people that are thinkers, right? People that are sitting back and trying to be like, okay, how much money did we make under Trump? How much money did we make under Biden? What were the gas prices under Trump? What were the gas prices under Biden? And then that's logic. But she wants to make us like go into that hate frontal lobe thinking, right? That hate or fear. And that's that frontal lobe thinking. That's up here, and it's not all the rest of your head. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
With her saying like all Trump supporters need to be reprogrammed, that's her like trying to like push that hate forward and not get you to think right. What's really going on here, you know? So, you know, I really think that it's a really bad brush to be painting anybody as, you know, need to be reprogrammed. Like I say, we need to bring back insane asylums because I see insane people all the time. All the time. I don't know if they're left or they're right. I think most of them are communists. You know? But what do you think?
Well, I say that... Could you say that again?
I think we need insane asylums. What were you reading there?
Well, I was reading about Russell Brand again.
Oh, we haven't talked about him for a while. You notice how that stuff went under, right?
Yeah, that stuff went under. And every single news station right now has been 2 weeks off. They haven't said anything about him for 2 weeks.
It'll come back around.
It will come back around. But talking about, well, speaking of insane asylums, I like to say that I think that they should be brought back in some sense, especially when people are still under the guardianship of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's always a certain population where the parents are just going to badger their kids and then send them off just because they can.
Mm.
But then there's the other side of that population where the kids actually need help.
Yes.
So saying that for one reason why we shouldn't do it, for a whole slew of positive things that could be done, then it's...
The whole reason why they kind of stopped doing it is because they were abusing the power of that for the longest time. That insane asylum power was being abused. So they took away insane asylums completely because there were experiments going on there. There were extra. There wasn't the. Right now, everything has like a CCTV, right? Everything can be surveilled.
Everything.
You can watch everything. So these days, I think it's better to have something where we have cameras everywhere that keeps everybody accountable. Because cameras can keep people very accountable, right?
Especially, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they turn them off, then that's a big problem.
And that's been done too, so yeah. But I think that if we can bring stuff like that back, I think it could help our society a bit more. Instead of doping people up and sending them out the door on drugs that we know can make people crazy. Because I had a mom that took some pills when she was alive, and it made her crazy. Like, the police would bring her home and be like, what's wrong with her? And they'd look at her medication and they could see, I'm not going to say the certain type of medication because I don't want to get sued, but they had this type of medication. She had a certain type that made her crazy, and she had to stop taking it because she would drive erratically, she would do all kinds of weird stuff. And it wasn't her, it was that medicine that was just messing with her mind. I think a lot of these things that happen for school shooters are these young men. They get on these drugs and they get sent out the door, and these drugs make you crazy.
So, considering that, I don't think insane asylums are the solution. I think educating parents are the solution.
Well, did you hear about the five-year-old little girl in Topeka, Kansas that was raped and murdered recently?
No, not at all.
Her parents were kicking her out of the house.
At 5?
At 5 years old.
At 5.
And the community around the area had been kind of taking care of her, giving her food and clothes and stuff when they see her, but they kicked her out, and she was raped and murdered by a homeless man. Like, these are things where...
What did you...
These are things where parents... This is my thing, where parents...
Oh my goodness.
Parents need to be put in insane asylums. Like, if that little girl's parents would have been...
They need to be
arrested,
held accountable for what they did.
I don't disagree with you.
The use of insane asylums, I think, is not the right way of thinking things. I think that the best way to think about it is...
Because parents are messed up too, man.
Yeah,
not
parents
everybody
are messed up.
Not everybody gets a good parent or two good parents or any parent, right? Some people, they don't have that.
And some parents aren't willing to change or learn.
Mm.
So it's always it's a touchy subject. Honestly, it is.
Mm. What?
I did some fact checking on this, right? The little girl only had one parent.
One parent, female?
It was her mom. She was charged with aggravated assault and battery, and she had felonies charges. So really, she should have been in jail. Her home situation, water, and power were not on consistently.
Mm.
And the little girl was actually living in a tent community
So the
more
little girl
often
was
than her house, and that's where
living in the tent
she
community.
actually knew her
The rapist?
predator. Yeah.
The pedophile?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dumped her
It's-
at a gas station.
It's sad that this is Biden's America.
Mm.
Okay? At some point, and when I remember in the 80s, like, I understood that CPS was kind of in the 80s, that CPS was kind of which is like CPS, you know what CPS is?
Child Protective Services.
So CPS was kind of like you didn't want to call, and they were always involved in other people's business.
Mm.
Now there's a certain element where
That is necessary.
it's necessary, and if a 5-year-old little girl is getting kicked out of the house and she's living in a freaking tent community, where's CPS at? Where Kansas? Where's CPS at? Are you? Wait. I know already. They're at the drag shows with the kindergartners, putting on shows, right? Is that what CPS is doing? Like, this is the type of crap that shouldn't go on in America, right? And it's saddening.
We should be taking care of our own.
There's so much bad right now there's so much bad, and even more coming in over the border. More drugs, more kids, more everything that you know.
More
I think
criminals.
Texas just passed a law that said if you come over here illegally and they catch you, it's 20 years in prison.
Wow.
You know what Texas is finna do, right? They're finna start up the plantations again. I'm telling you,
That's
dude.
crazy.
They're gonna put a lot of people to work very cheap. Actually, you know what? It's a great idea, because if you come over here illegally and you get caught, then we can put everybody to work in mines. You know, I'm serious. Like, I'm dead serious. And it'll be what, 11 cents an hour or something like that. It's like $1 something a day in prison. Like, we can go ahead and set special prison work groups and security set up for all those illegals that come over like that. All of them. Like, the whole point of having a wall was so people use the front door so we can vet who's coming in the country. That's it.
So we don't get other diseases, so we don't get other...
Drugs, criminals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we know who you are.
Exactly.
But if we don't know what kind of diseases you have, we don't know what kind of drugs you have in your body, we don't know what kind of personality you are, we don't even know if you've been a serial killer in another country or not.
You know, in some of these countries, they like let their prisoners out to come over here.
Yeah. I mean, this has been done in multiple other countries, especially in history. Like when Britain sent most of their prisoners to America and Australia because they didn't want them in their own country.
Mm-hmm.
And those borders were open, so they just sent them. So to be
Biden's
ignorant
America.
of the fact that other countries might be and are sending prisoners over here to be let into America is stupid.
Yep.
If you don't think that's happening.
Mm-hmm. You know, I miss a lot of the free speech stuff. I like the fact that we can that we're able in certain platforms. By the way, thank you Instagram and Facebook for not banning me, and for Twitter for banning me. It's okay. I took away my premium from you guys. I'm no longer gonna pay you guys because, I mean, why? I could pay Instagram and they don't ever ban anything I say or do or any of my memes, and I can share them with everybody. So if Elon Musk, if it's not your doing, fix it, please. And if it is your doing, well, you're not American, so I don't expect you to stand behind free speech anyway. So, you're a South African. And we know how South Africans are, don't we, boy?
Well, I surely do.
Yep.
So, considering the fact that there is free speech that is being canceled,
Mm-hmm.
and people that are being canceled, just like Russell Brand,
And it's around election time.
Trump, all those people.
It's happening again, and you know the whole.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle.
Yeah, but the whole point was that, you know, Elon bought Twitter because they did the same thing to him that Twitter's now doing to me. I don't want to buy Twitter ever. I don't have the money to buy them, but I don't want to buy it. And I was like, if I was in charge of Twitter, it would be a free speech platform. Like, if people would cry about it, I'd send them. If they were like, oh, this guy said something that hurt my feelings, have some more milk and some cookies and go to bed.
You know what's interesting?
Nobody's getting banned.
On Instagram, I saw a few reels where people were crying, and when I went to the comments, they said bring bullying back. And I thought that was funny, but at the same time, it's a little wrong to laugh
No,
at.
I think it's funny. Like,
It was like bring back bullying, and I
Yeah.
was like, what is this new movement?
to make people tough. Like, there's so many people that are like, you're tough because I bully the shit out of you. I do bully you all the time. I bully him because it's my job to make that skin tough, right? So I've got to do that, and that's another reason why he can fight really well.
Mhm.
Is because I taught him to do it. Right? There's no if there's he already knows the phone call because we've had the phone call. What's the first thing I say to you when you tell me and you got in the fight? What's the first thing out of my mouth?
Did you start it?
No.
Did you win?
Did you win? That's it. Did you win? Yeah? Okay, well, I'll come pick you up. And how bad's the other guy? Do I have to pay for any bills? No, I don't think so. All right. All right, I'll come pick you up.
It's funny how after bullies, when you beat them up, they're nice to you.
Oh, yeah. They'll change. Because
And then they'll change with everybody else, too.
They won't push you around anymore.
Oh, he's such a nice person now. I was like, oh, who changed him?
Yeah. Who alphaed him, That it happens a lot like that. And you just have to tell the bullies straight to their face. And then you have people that are weak, and they're afraid to even tell you what they did to you before. They're like bragging their friends, oh, I put something in his drink. Right? I spiked his drink.
Oh,
Come say that to my face. Bet you won't. Bet you're scared. And rightly so, you should be scared, because if you spike my drink, I'm going to spike your head right into the ground. Right? Ground slam. Boom! So yeah, I think that if we keep doing what we're doing and we keep having our podcast, keep having these talks.
And I get better at talking.
Yeah, speaking.
Speaking?
I get better at speaking too.
I get better at speaking?
I get better at speaking as well, and there's gonna be times.
Shove it in there, Daniel.
Yeah, I can't. Nihongo.
日本語を知らない、わからない。
知らない、わからないよね。
外人。
そうだよね。外人のバカ外人だよね。
バカ外人。
バカ外人だよね。
それ楽しい。
そうだよね。ヘアだよね。バカだよね。そうだよね。
ゴリラ。
Yeah, I'm just, I'm okay with being a big dumb American, or a little dumb American, or hairy dumb American.
At least I'm American.
Or at least I'm American, yeah. For now, I'm proud to be an American. I'm still proud to be an American. I just see all these old politicians and old guard people that you can really see the side that they really like the most. It's like, dude, go to Poland. Take your shit to Poland if you don't like it. Go somewhere where all white people are. Don't try and change America.
But the thing is, Poland is actually doing pretty well.
I don't mean anything bad to Poland. I know Poland's a nice place. I'm just saying that if you don't like mixed people, if you don't like brown people, if you don't like, well, you're not yellow, but if you don't like a mix of people, don't try to change it here. Just leave. Leave. Don't try to change our policies, because what I've learned about the Trump people that are in my life, that they love everybody. They don't hate anyone. Go to a Trump rally. Right? I'm telling you. Life-changing. Now, I still would vote for Kennedy. Maybe if I had the choice, I'm probably going to do that. But I don't know. I haven't met Mr. Trump yet. Maybe if I meet Mr. Trump and we have a sit down, I might vote for the man. But I did it once, and the first time I did, I thought he was going to change things, and he didn't. And that lost my faith in that one. So
well, let's see if he could come back a second time.
To some people, it would be the third time that they would say, "That's the third time. He's still the president." I'm like, well, no, not really, Janet, but we'll figure it out. So, with that being said, I hope you have a good time tonight.
Thank you.
I really enjoy doing this podcast with you, and I want to continue doing this podcast with you. And I want to continue doing the podcast with you. What do you think?
Yeah, of course.
And you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you.
Hey.
I don't know.
So, I think...
Gas it up.
Pull the whip.
With the nay-nay.
With the nay. Old school.
Shout out to Chuka Willis.
So, I think there's so many things that are wrong in this country. There's
a
many
lot
things
of
that are
right
right.
things, so yeah.
But overall, going into a better direction is the right thing to do.
We need to move in a better direction. You're right. You're right.
and we need to stop going backwards. What I mean by that is going backwards on things that we already know. Like,
Don't lock people up that's your opposing politics.
don't just have only two parties.
Yeah, that's bad. Or one party.
One party, that's even
One
worse.
party system is really bad. At least
And
here
then
you have.
admiring a one party system is even worse.
Yes, or being like I can't believe like there's some college, and the thing is like what gets me is most of the time when you see the communist people, they have their pink hair and they're fat and ugly, or they're lesbians, right? And or they're dudes with long hair and beards that have like colored tie-dye shirts and they're wearing Birkenstock flip-flops.
Let's just call them communists.
And they're going, oh, communism's cool. Communism's great.
Eesh.
Communism's this. I want to punch you.
I
just
would-
want to
this is
throw
what I
you
would
off
say.
a bridge.
If you lived in communism, then you wouldn't have that shirt. You wouldn't have those pants. You wouldn't have the long hair. You wouldn't even have the beard.
And you wouldn't have the right to say that crap.
Exactly. You wouldn't even have the right to express yourself.
Because that
You're supposed
fist
to
would
wear-
be smashing you down.
You're supposed to be wearing the same shoes, the same pants, the same shirt, and paid the same amount.
Yep. And also eat the same food, right? Living in the same housing.
And you're supposed to be the same gender.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know
So,
about that. I don't know about that. Well, yeah, that's crazy. Same gender. I wouldn't say they do that. That's how they push it to win. It's out of the communist handbook.
it is out of the communist handbook.
I can't believe that. It's just crazy that I can't believe parents would allow their kids to do that stuff. Like that's why I think that the single asylums need to come back. It's because parents need to put their kids to get some help and not just go to a shrink. They need to literally be admitted for some time. And I don't think they need to be reprogrammed. I don't think a reprogramming or re-education happens.
I think a change with society would do that.
Well, it's a matter of
Change with the people that are leading society. I think that
Yeah,
would certainly
that's-
change.
oh yeah,
I don't think
I
that-
agree.
For me personally, I don't think that going after the little problems is the right thing to do. I think going after the bigger ones. What I mean bigger ones are the people who are pushing those
This
things
stuff,
to
yeah.
happen in high class society, meaning that they have all the means and the
The
money
globalists.
to pay
To have them push that.
to push that. You're
We
going after the smaller people with insane asylums is the wrong thing to do.
Well,
You need to start with the top.
I see what you want to do a top down thing, but what if we do it both top and the bottom and we meet in the middle?
Well, I think that the top would have a bigger impact than at the bottom, considering that if you push the same ideas in the same way that they're pushing their own ideas, then you're able to change society for the better. And
From the top down.
in the same way, there's a blueprint of pushing ideas, and that blueprint is used all over.
From the top
All you
down.
have to do is use the same blueprint for what you think is right and what you know is right, considering that right now is wrong.
It used to be a saying that if it happens in New York or California, it'll happen in the rest of America, and I think that's changed. I think it's changed. I think a lot of people will start to see what's going on in New York, in California.
And they're
And,
looking at Florida and Texas like, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
there's
guys.
there's this kind of wind of change here, and they're like, oh well, I like what Texas is doing, and I like what Florida's doing better. Here's the thing. If we all leave California, we don't get another California. If you all leave New York, we don't get another New York. I know that New Yorkers are some of the most patriotic people about New York, that their city, that I've ever seen in my entire life.
You're like, we started.
I'm from
this-
Brooklyn, what? I'm from Brooklyn, what? You know, these guys, they're like, yo, I'm from New York. New York, what? New York, what? And you guys, some guy like Philly, yo, I'm from Philly, Philly, what? And they're like, fuck you, I'm from New York, I'm from New York. You know, they're so passionate about being where they're from. I just can't see them like giving that up. Californians,
I don't think giving that up.
Californians, I don't know.
They're a little groovy, man.
They're a little like, hey, we just want to surf and smoke weed, man. You know, make movies, dude. Chill out. That's not gonna work when you got somebody in your face like, screw America, screw what you stand for, screw chilling out. You're gonna eat my communism. We're gonna teach your kids that they can change their gender, and if you don't let us change your kids' gender, we'll take your kids away from you. That's what I've seen now on the news and everywhere else. They're making these laws. You know, in my opinion, the only flag that should be waved in the classroom is an American flag.
Right.
That's it.
Because that supports
Ideals. That's
everything.
ideals. That's American
That's
ideals.
The good ideals.
I don't believe that the LGBTQ flag should be there. I don't believe a BLM flag should be there. I don't believe a Nazi flag should be there. I don't believe a KKK flag. I don't even know if they got a flag should be there. The only flag that should be waved in any of the classrooms should be the American flag, period. Hands down, period, this is America. Not a Chinese flag, not a Mexican flag, nothing like that.
Not a Japanese flag.
Not a Japanese flag, because we're not in Japan. We're in America. American flag, American values. We're not in the land of the queers and the gays and everything, although there are a lot of queers and gays here.
We're in the land of
The
Americans.
free.
The free.
The home of the free and the brave. You're brave enough to stand up for what you believe, what you want to do, for your right to be gay, for your right to be black, white, Asian, whatever. To be the tree that you want to be in your front yard on the weekends. I don't know, but you get to do that here, and that's cool.
And the best thing you can do is support it.
That's it. Just support America. That's it.
Don't
Support
try to support your group at that point. Support America.
America.
And the ideas behind America.
Stop thinking about teams. Stop thinking about, Hillary Clinton's team and Obama's team and Trump's team.
Think of it as like people.
Think about it like clean the slate, right? And let's look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, and which numbers are going to tell you the truth? Because the numbers aren't going to lie to you. Which numbers are going to tell? Because people will skew the numbers to lie to you too. Also, let's look at history. Let's look at the people's history. A lot of people that's been around Trump, you can go and interview them still. The good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't do that with Obama. You can't do that with Clinton. Right? You can't do that with Biden, because most of the people that have been around these people disappeared. If you don't believe me, look it up. No skin off my knuckles. Right? I'm just saying. There's a lot of stuff there is a clear difference between what's right and what's wrong here. There's a clear difference between, you have the racist type of people, even though that somebody is LGBTQ, doesn't mean that they can't be racist too.
I think they might
Right.
kill Trump.
I don't think so. I don't think that would be something that would be smart. Because there are too many, like, for her to say that, and then for you to say this is like, it's scary to me, because if that happens, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. That's the scariest thing, is would Trump supporters and all these, because there's military. There's a lot of military now support Trump. A lot of people have changed their Democrat to Republican
Because of him.
Because of him recently. Like, people have been, the winds of change have happened now. And then for them to do that, I don't know. I don't know what would happen. I think it would be a horrible move for anybody. Because if globalists do that, we already know the globalists, and we know who they are, and we have military that can easily go dark and just start black bagging people.
But if I gave Trump this choice, right? If you were to sacrifice yourself for America for it to change, would you do it? Do you think you'll say yes?
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to kill himself or have somebody kill him to change America. And
I think he already made the choice to sacrifice himself
I think
for the cause.
I think he's come to that
conclusion in his.
And I think he's
heart and
come to
mind.
that. Yeah, that he's willing, and that him going up there and doing that is honorable.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it would be smart for his counterparts to do something like that, because it would be okay. So if I was the guy against Trump, right?
Okay.
If I was the evil globalist and I wanted to push my agenda, and I was like, all right, we're just going to kill him like we did Kennedy, right?
Mhm.
We're going to kill him like we did Kennedy, we're going to pin it on somebody else, right? If I was going to do that, okay, I would be more fearful of the repercussions of what would happen to me and my family after somebody did that. Because you are not just looking at Donald J., you're looking at Eric Trump too. And Eric Trump is a hunter. Not saying he's a bad guy, but he doesn't have a problem killing a beautiful little animal, which I don't either. But, you know, when somebody doesn't have a problem killing a baby deer or a deer that looks beautiful at all, and you kill their father,
yeah,
or his son, his other son,
or the rest of his family,
or the rest of the family, he's got so many family members behind him, and then not even that, it's like you don't know his cousins, his uncles,
the people that
big
are
uncle,
his
little
friends.
like the gangsters, like you're gonna like. I really don't think it would be smart because there would be a lot of very, 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 very dangerous people
That would be pissed.
that will come after it. And I don't think they would stop at the whoever did it. I think they would wipe complete families off the map if that happened. And that's a whole nother like that's scary, right? That would be, and I don't want that to happen because we live in a republic with democracy as our values too.
Yeah.
And I
We
believe
have our constitution and
Yes.
everything behind that.
and I believe that the globalists, because what they're trying to do is slow defeat America, right? This is the communist playbook, and they're trying to slowly defeat America
Right. Different checkpoints all throughout.
in history. So they know the timing of when they want to do something.
It's been done to Rome. It's been done to other countries.
They're trying to do it now, but every time we have pushback because we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Tucker Carlson, me and you. I'm not putting us on his level, but
Russell Brand.
Russell
all those
Brand.
people.
all these other people, Joe Rogan, all these people stop and say, hey, our listeners don't want that. Millions and millions of Americans don't want your globalist agenda. We push it back. We don't want it. We've got to stop. We got to slow down. They're not going to stop. They're always going to be attacking, and that's why we always have to be on the counter. I'm saying, listen, we don't want to send our money here. We don't want to fight wars that don't contain, that have no value to our country. You're bankrupting people. You're bankrupting the country. You're buying up our stuff. Like Bill Gates, why you got so much farmland? You don't need that farmland. That's a controlling interest in America. He needs to be stripped of that. He also needs to be tried for Epstein Island.
Mhm.
He was the frequent flyer.
Mhm.
He needs to be jailed. He needs to be tried. Give all the farmland to his wife. I trust his wife a lot better than I trust him.
You mean the one he divorced?
Yep.
You know, she became the richest woman.
That's cool. I don't
Which I
care.
think is really nice, considering that she said on TV that she wasn't going to talk about Epstein Island because that's for something for her husband to talk about. And I thought that was a really interesting way of her to say it's not my problem.
Well, it's also her way of not getting sued.
Mm.
Because she probably has signed a gag order about
What she could say and what she
what
couldn't.
she could say, what she could say.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We have people that are, and why are you going after Trump? Trump wasn't in an Epstein Island. So that's the other thing that gets me, is how many of these other people were doing that stuff, you know what I'm saying? We need to figure this out someday, and figure out what we would do to them. But anyway, I don't have anything else, do you?
No, I don't have anything else at all.
Alright, well,
See you later.
see you later.